for your heart, healing for your home. The Redeemed Marriage Podcast.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Redeemed Marriage Podcast. I'm Rusty. She's Heather. We are the Redeemed Marriage. We're glad to be with you and glad to be back to answer another one of our listener questions because we are in the middle of our Summer Shorts series. Take it away.
Summer shorts, do 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 do. Summer shorts, do 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 do. Summer shorts, do 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 do. Summer shorts. I tried to do it all in one breath. I can't do it. And you didn't do the wiki.
Yeah,
you were doing that prior to.
We had to delete the opening of our previous recording.
Only because I didn't read the question right.
Okay, well, let's try it again.
You
Take
ready?
2. Read
Here
the
we
question.
Go. How do I avoid falling into the trap of only pursuing my spouse sexually?
Is this are you writing this question? Is this question from you?
No.
This question's from you. You're just like, how do I just am always pursuing my spouse sexually. How do I stop? My answer is don't stop.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that wasn't your question,
no, it wasn't
was
my
it?
question. It was not my question.
Do you think, okay, so I know this is really hard to answer questions sometimes when we don't really know the context and we don't really know what they're asking exactly. My thought is that the husband or the wife, one of them, when they pursue their spouse, it feels like they just are pursuing them because they want to have sex. Does that, no?
I mean, I don't know, because I see that point, like the only time you pursue me is when you want sex. That could be it. But I read it as, how can I avoid only pursuing my spouse when it's sexual? Like, give me ways that I can pursue my spouse and be with my spouse and share time with my spouse that doesn't necessarily have to be sexual.
Was that not what I just said?
No!
Wait, we just said 2 different things?
Yes!
Okay.
Definitely.
What did I say?
You said, what did you say?
See?
What did you say?
You were listening to respond.
No. I heard you, but it wasn't what I said. What did you say?
I said that one spouse, when they pursue their spouse, they are only pursuing them for sex.
Right. Yeah. Which I guess what I heard you saying was like,
it's a great lesson
It
right here.
is.
Great lesson in communication.
yeah, because what I heard you saying was if, like, I'm just talking about in everyday, like, touch or,
Okay.
like,
So,
that doesn't always have to lead to sexual stuff. But
All
I
right.
don't think that that's exactly what they were asking.
All right. So let me ask this question. Okay. Yeah, this is confusing. This is a confusing question because the way I look at it is I'm looking at it, let's just say that it was a wife that wrote in. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
But let's
anonymous.
just say that a wife wrote this in and they wrote it because I'm putting it into our situation, our story. Let's say you wrote this in to somebody and you're saying, hey, in your mind, you're thinking, Rusty pursues me. But when he pursues me, it's because he wants to have sex. So how can we avoid that so that it's just not always about sex?
Okay.
All right.
And how I was reading it was, the only time I ever pursue him, it ends to being sexual. How could I pursue him where it's just fun or it just is we have an adventure together or it doesn't always have to lead to sex? And I honestly,
Those are 2 great different
yes,
questions.
they're 2 great different questions, but they're both of them, like you just said, are great because I feel like that you can easily fall into the trap of thinking if my spouse is pursuing me, it's because they want it to end in sex. And then you can also get into the trap of, I'm not going to pursue them. Like, I'm not going to go do an adventure with them or go have fun with them because they're going to go, oh, well, I want this to lead to sex. So you have to be able to pursue your spouse in just fun ways. But it takes, I mean, it depends on whose point of view you're looking at it from.
Yeah, we need to maybe tackle both of these somehow. Okay, so here let's do this first because I wanna do this. All right, would you say, okay? Everybody out there knows, if you've listened to us for any amount of time, that one of us has a much higher sex drive than the other one. Okay. Any guesses? Any guesses out there? Bueller. Oh, that was just like 2 days ago. It was Ferris Bueller's Day.
His anniversary.
No, it was like June 5th, 1985.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 41 years ago that Ferris Bueller took his day off.
It was like a big one.
No,
like
I don't
40.
think so.
Okay.
All right. Anywho, back to the original programming. All right. So
you have an original. You have an exceedingly high sex drive.
I do. Okay. So would you say that I pursue you? Well, how do I do? How would you grade me on how I pursue you? Oh boy, here we go.
You asked.
Don't
Okay.
screw this up.
No, I feel like if there is effort, like if you are putting extra effort in pursuing me, I do feel like you want it to end in sex. Is that a bad answer?
I don't know, because this is all right. I'm gonna give an opportunity. From a guy's, because this is the only way we can do this. We can only do this in speaking from our perspective and how this is translated into our marriage.
Right.
Okay. So I know that there are a lot of people out there, that there are a lot of couples that are similar to ours. The majority, we know that from statistical research, that a majority of marriages, the male has a higher sex drive. Please don't come at us, because we know that that's not the case for every single marriage.
Yep. And we know lots of people where it's opposite.
Absolutely.
Can we just say that in most marriages, probably 90%, one person has a higher sex drive?
And we do know that, and that's about right, that one has a higher sex drive. Okay, so if that's the case, here's what I want the person that's sitting in your seat, what I want them to understand is this: that most of the people that have the higher sex drive, that if they are pursuing you and they're pursuing their spouse, and it is with this thought of maybe we can be physically intimate by me pursuing you, here's what I want you to try to think about. Is that a bad thing? What I want you to think, first of all, is, wow, I'm really glad that my spouse desires me and desires that. Because there's a lot of people out there that literally would die for their spouse to desire them that way. Okay, so that's one perspective. The other perspective is this: that it feels to you, in sitting in that seat, it feels selfish. It feels like they want something, so that's the only reason why they're being nice or doing something. But for the majority of the people that are sitting in that have my feelings and the higher sex drive, the physical intimacy is the furthest thing from a selfish thought. Like I'm not pursuing you because I selfishly want to do that. It is for most people, and I know it's not the case with everybody, because there's some losers out there. Let's just put it that way, okay? But for those of us that are genuinely pursuing a godly relationship, that's how we know to connect. That's what we believe is connection.
Right.
And that's what we desire is a connection. Now, does it end in, wow, that was great. That felt great. And yeah, I mean, why not? And there's nothing wrong with that. We know there's nothing wrong with that. It's biblical, and that's what God created. But I think where it gets so twisted is that the enemy, and I do believe that it can be this, that the enemy can speak lies to the person that doesn't have the same sex drive and go, that my spouse is so selfish and they just want this feeling or they want something for themselves, and that's why they're doing this and pursuing me. And even if there is motivation behind doing that, the ultimate motivation is, I want to connect with you. So and the only reason why I'm saying that is because I want the person that's sitting in your seat to be able to maybe think about it that way. What if we all thought about it that way? Because I'm going to give you a chance to then say, well, from the person sitting in my seat, this is what. But here's the beauty of this. I feel like, and I asked you, and I know I put you on the spot, but how well do I do when I pursue you? I think a lot of times that people, they don't like the things that I do, that I feel like I'm pursuing you, like I'm doing the things that you love and want. And I know that when I do those, that we're not running to the bedroom every single time. But what ends up happening is you associate everyday life, like you just think it's almost like, well, those are things that you're supposed to do. Like those are just expectations that I have, and you just need to do them. But in reality, the way I look at it is these are things that help you, make you happy, that you enjoy. And so I'll do them. And that's my way of saying I love you and I'm pursuing you. And every single time, if we did it that way, we'd be having sex every day. If you were rewarding my pursuing of you. Does that make sense? But I don't do the clothes and the dishes, or even not allow you, but like make time and make space for you to put your puzzles together and things that you enjoy doing. Like that's all part of me just saying, hey, how can I, like I'm pursuing you. Those are things I would do if we were dating, not under this roof of doing, but I would do those things for you. And I even think that sometimes it's like the act of going to work and working hard to provide for your family. And again, we can get off on something really big here and start talking about how people abuse that. But that's also an act of pursuing. So there's like things that happen in everyday life that I think just get kind of lumped into, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So don't call that pursuing me. But there's a lot of people out there that don't do that because they're not pursuing their spouse. So I think there's just this change in how we view what pursuing is. Also, that end goal of, and I'm not even going to say it's an end goal because the more we're connected physically, the more I want to do, because I'm connected to you and I feel intimate with you. All right, so now I gave my side. So you talk a little bit about, is all that fair?
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. It's kind of like several weeks ago, Chip said in his sermon that when he used to keep all three of their kids, he called it babysitting, and his dad and his wife called it being a dad.
Parenting.
Yeah, and that's how I feel like with dishes but I know that there's millions of men out there that don't help their wives with those things. So I'm not taking that for granted. But I don't necessarily see that as a pursuit. I just see it as you loving me well. And
I think that's what you need to answer, because that's what you need to be able to explain and
what
tell
I see
somebody,
pursuit.
yeah, what does that mean?
Well, okay.
because I want you this question the way you were like, I don't really know how to ask this question, but like I want you to pursue me and me not think, oh, well, she wants to have sex. And then you go, well, I'm not going to do that ever again.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand that. I understand what you're saying. And I know that you pursue me for other reasons than just sex, because if you did, then after sex, you would just quit. But you don't. I mean, like, you continue to love me well and do things for me. So it's not like you're trying to earn it or get enough points to cash in so that we can have sex. But I think for me, the question read, and the reason why I really liked this question is because I think that there's a way that you can pursue me that doesn't always have to lead to sex, but it requires a lot of communication. Because I really, really, really enjoy doing fun things with you. But I think sometimes I don't do them because I'm like, it's gonna 100% lead to sex. Every single thing. I mean, like, you know how you said that, I think Craig Rochelle said this originally, where you can make anything sexual. Like his wife says, hey, can you stir this pot? Like she's stirring pasta, and I'll stir your pot. You know, I mean, that is 100% you. And so...
Thank you. There's an art to that, and I'm just very grateful that you can point that out and say how wonderful I am at that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, like, even when we do something fun, like we went on a run the other day. We didn't know where we were going. We were in Florida. We had gone to our niece's wedding, and the wedding wasn't until 3:30. So we went for a run, and we were running on a path that we had no idea where we were going. And to me, that was really, really fun. But I kept refraining. I would catch myself refraining sometimes from saying things because I'm like, oh, he's going to totally make that sexual, you know, like something about the bench. Oh, well, I know what we can do on that bench. You know, I mean, like, it's just like, oh my gosh, why does everything have to be about sex? So what I'm saying is there are lots of fun. Like, I think I know that I love to go on adventures with you. I would love, like, I saw on Instagram the other day, a friend of ours that had a jet ski, and they're very newly empty nesters. And it was like, what are we, you know, on the thing, what are we going to possibly do once our kids are gone? And they were riding around on a jet ski, you know, and I was like, oh, I would love to do that. But like, I like to have adventures with you, but I feel like sometimes if I want to do those things, or I say, oh, let's go get a cabin, or let's go on a hike. Ooh, we could go there at the top. There'd be a great place, you know? So I feel like sometimes when I go into pursuit mode, it always has to end in that. And I want there to be let's have that adventure together, and it doesn't have to end in sex. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that if you just wear me out so much that I wouldn't?
And you're asleep because we had that adventure together.
But see, I mean, I don't think that's fair, because I do think that you just have this thought or this idea.
I'm sure I do.
And like, even when it's a joke, like what I think somebody like me is looking for is for you to flirt back, because that's how I feel pursued.
Yeah,
and that's
and
how
I
I
have
feel
a tendency to go, oh my gosh, why does it always have to be about sex?
So let me just. I mean, you guys are sitting in on a counseling session right now. Isn't this wonderful? Okay, so let me go back to your story about the running the other day.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, But I was the one that said exactly what you just said. There were bugs. You were a little scared. We were in a place that was not familiar. It was a bit sketchy.
Yep.
And you didn't complain, but like I mean, that wasn't your number one. I mean, we were doing it for you so you could do your workout, but you wouldn't have chosen that. But I said while we were running, you weren't complaining, but you said several times, I don't know where we're going. This is a little scary. There's bugs. There's bugs. All those kind of things. So you never really said anything positive. So what you just said to me was the first positive I heard about that experience. But I said to you, because I had listened to Levi Lusko's sermon that morning, and he had talked about companionship and how guys desire companionship. And I said to you, this kind of thing is so fun to me because we're just on an adventure and you're just being my friend and we're doing this together. And there was nothing sexual about it. And we were not going to stop where we were. We would have been arrested in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's right.
But I was the one that said that. But you didn't say anything. So what I'm saying is you missed an opportunity to agree with me or pursue me, knowing that it wasn't going to lead to, I mean, we were staying in a hotel room with our son and daughter-in-law. But because you were afraid of that, you missed an opportunity to affirm me and say, this is what I enjoy too, is just being a companion with you. Because what I also think that happens sometimes is, like, you guys that are like Heather, you get this built up in your mind so much, even to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, if we go out on this nice date, there's this expectation of how this is going to end. Well, I mean, maybe so. But there's also, gosh, I mean, how many times I've even heard counselors say before, have dessert first. There's ways that you can almost, I don't want to say get that out of the way, because to somebody like me, it is more than just this act. It is, let me connect with you. Like, this is the closest I ever feel to you. And so it can be, well, why don't we remove that tension that has to happen, of, oh gosh, well, we know where this is going. Or you even communicate beforehand and you're like, hey, when we get back tonight, don't worry, it's going to be fun. But I'm telling you that so that you don't have to act like a freaking crazy person pursuing me in that way all night. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all about communication. But I know that there's also that part, there's the part from me where maybe it is the where I share an expectation, and so I say, hey, what a great opportunity. This would be so great. But look, you want to go ahead before we go, or I don't know. It's a communication thing. But can you guys see that we're dysfunctional in this area a little bit?
We're not dysfunctional.
No, we're not. But it's hard. It's a very difficult. It's difficult to talk about, and so it's a great question, because even as we're talking about this, like, what stirs up in me is not, oh my gosh, I want to figure out how to do this right so that I can pursue you and we can have a good sex life because of it. What stirs up in me is, I just want to pursue you. And by pursuing you, I hope that makes you desire to have that with me, So it's never selfish that it's about me. It's about us. And I think that a lot of people just get that really twisted. And then you start listening, and just like what happens is, well, I'm not saying anything, and I'm not flirting, and that's the thing that I need more than anything. So, but at the same time, what you need for me to pursue you without the expectation of it happening.
Right.
So we got this going on.
It's a dance constantly. And I think we easily fall back into pursuing each other the way we want to be pursued instead of pursuing each other the way that we know they or that you want to be pursued. And so it's just remembering, I mean, it goes back to love languages and just remembering, you know, like I need to remember that that's how you feel the closest to me. And then you remember what it means for me. Like the closest I feel to you is, I mean, of course, having fun together, but like just laying on the couch and watching TV, or, I mean, that's when I feel the closest to you. And doing that without an expectation of it has to lead to something else.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's a good conversation, and you guys should probably grab a couple of microphones, sit down like you're going to talk about.
or just sit across from each other and talk. It's fine. You don't have to have microphones.
Ask yourself the question that we just asked each other. You know, what does it mean? What does it mean to pursue each other? And how do you want to be pursued? And I think that Heather just nailed it. Like the idea is I need to pursue Heather in the way that she wants to be pursued, and she needs to pursue me in the way that I want to be pursued. And even though sometimes those things clash, if we're doing them, then we're just going to both want to do it even more. So,
Yep.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening today, guys. Hope that this was helpful to you and you got a glimpse into our world a little bit. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.